Wireshark, you can go to the website wireshark.org. You can click on download, and these are your options. The current stable release is 3.2.7. Right now I'm going to be running this on Kali Linux, which is already installed. You can also run it on Windows if you download the correct packages to accommodate it. One thing you can also take note of is if you want to look at the documentation for this, to look at some more how-tos, you can click on Get Help and Documentation. That should take you to the right place. One thing, so the PCAP sample we're going to use today comes from the website malware-trafficanalysis.net. I'll leave the link in the description below. So we're going to use traffic analysis exercises. So let's click here, and we're going to start off with 2018. And probably in future episodes, continue to follow the exercise path up until a more current date. So what you'll do is you'll click on the date, you'll see the exercise, and just download the PCAP right here. The password should be infected, all lowercase. If you're interested in more PCAP samples, you can follow the link right here. I'll put this one in the description below, but it's a long list of sample PCAPs and different websites you can get them from. So with no further ado, let's begin the tutorial on the GUI for Wireshark. So to get started, let's familiarize ourselves with the layout. So let's click on File and click on Open. So I've already downloaded the PCAP from the location I described earlier. So I'm going to click on Downloads and click on the PCAP, and let's click on Open. So now our PCAP is loaded. So now we're going to go through the File menu. So let's click on File, and you can see we have more options. So most people like to use the export objects. You can export objects from the PCAP itself, especially if it's decrypted. If you have anything encrypted, I can probably show you later on how to decrypt it. But for now, we don't have to worry about that. So many of these options are self-explanatory, but I just go over a few. So find packet is pretty obvious. You can go to find packet, and you can actually type in the packet number that you would like to see. So let's cancel out and go look at some more stuff. You can go to next packet, so it'll iterate one at a time for each packet depending on where you're currently at. You can time shift packets, so we can discuss that later. Let's click on View. It gives you some other options. So if you want to view the main toolbar, filter toolbar, just some options based on your preference. You can go to full screen, which sometimes I prefer depending on if you have enough monitors. I prefer 2 monitors, but it's up to you, like I said. Time display format. I like to display everything I have in UTC. So let's go to UTC with time of day, and it'll automatically adjust. Another thing, you can go to specific packets. Now for capture, you can go to capture options, and this will give you the options based on your interface. Most people will see ETH0 depending on if you have 1 or 2 interfaces or more. Right now I have ETH0 and my loopback, so I'm going to uncheck everything except for ETH0 and click start, and now I'll start another capture. But since we already have a PCAP, I'm just going to close. So if we go to Analyze, let's see, we can display filters. So you can filter based on the different types of protocols, or you can make your own rules for filters, or you can actually make a profile for specific things you look for as an individual when you're looking at network traffic. Also, you can look at expert information, and it'll just highlight certain things that does not follow the standards for certain protocols. So for instance, we have this one right here, and it just gives you some generic information to look at, and it could probably set you on the right track depending on the type of network traffic you're looking at or trying to troubleshoot. Another thing to look at is statistics. So when you click on statistics, you have a bunch of options. One of the ones I like to tell people to look at is conversations and endpoints. So for conversations, you can see who's talking to what and how much information is being transferred. Something else to look at under statistics would be endpoints. So this would list the endpoints in a different manner and also give you the amount of bytes that's being transferred. Now, since we've went through the menu, we can look at one more thing, and that's going to be the amount of detail that Wireshark provides you. So what I'm going to do is click on one of the packets, and we're going to break down the packet for each section. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. So if we go from the top on down, we can see each layer of the OSI model if you look at that. If you're familiar with that, you can see each section broken down from the IP section all the way down to the TCP protocol, which lists the source port and destination port. So this one happens to be a source port of 49.157 and a destination port of 135. You can also see the flags that are set. Since this is a SAN packet based on TCP, you can see which flags are set. So this one happens to be SAN. You may also see other ones set, but in this particular situation, it's not. Window size, which is 8,192. And you can also see the timestamps. So we went over a lot of basic components of Wireshark from a GUI perspective, and also looked at a packet to see exactly what it displays and how to interpret it. So one thing to remember is Wireshark requires the PCAP to be loaded to RAM. So one of your limitations when loading a PCAP is ensuring that the size of the PCAP corresponds to the size of the RAM, which is located on your computer or whatever device you're using. So until next time, if you liked the video, make sure you comment and subscribe, and look for the next video, and we'll start diving deeper into packet analysis using live malware. We're going to continue on this path using the exercise that I showed you earlier, and you can follow along yourself using a link I provided in the description. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.